Good morning, good morning, good morning, you guys.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Real Talk with SLR.
How are you guys doing today?
Well, you guys, it's another beautiful day out here on the 41.36.
Yeah, it's definitely a little cloudy. There's
Yeah.
supposed to be some rain later on today and everything, and we're gonna try to get up there and get as much work done possible before the rain hits.
Yeah. Yesterday Gary ended up not going up onto the roof and doing any of the trim. He decided to change his mind.
Yeah.
So what happened was,
I was about ready to get up there and get to work and all that stuff, but Melanie left for an errand out in town and whatnot, and it was just me and Abe here on the 41.36. And I really did not want to get up there and have something bad happen, and literally the only person to help me would be Abe, my son.
yeah,
That's 8 years old.
that's a lot of pressure for an 8-year-old.
Correct. And, I would go up there and I would have done it just fine, no problems. However, I had a weird feeling. And I mean, it could have just been the scenario, it could have been whatever. I tend to listen to those feelings because when I don't listen to those feelings, that's when bad things happen. And I'd rather not and
Yeah.
just listen to them and you know heed the warnings that I'm given and do something else.
Yeah. So Gary got a lot of other stuff done yesterday, and I tackled all of the errands in town that needed to be done with Julia and Scarlett.
No.
And we had a really great day. We just ended up having to pivot a little bit because originally Gary was going to get up there and do all that trim work and stuff. But again, I knew I had to go to town in the morning. And when you get that little feeling, like, that feeling. I'm sure everybody watching this has had that feeling before where it's like, you got something telling you, okay, this is like, and you don't know why, but you're just like, wait a minute, I shouldn't do this. And then a lot of times if you do it anyway, regardless of whatever it is, you end up getting hurt.
Yeah.
At least in my experience.
In my experience too.
So
So I want to listen to that still small voice, and heed that warning and do something else because
Well, the yard was still needing a lot more maintenance.
Yep.
So Gary tackled a lot of that. I mean, it's a huge property. And there's a lot of maintenance that needs to be done. There's a lot of things growing everywhere and stuff. You got, property maintenance to do in the springtime. Otherwise, it's going to get out of control, like really fast.
Really, really fast.
So Gary handled a lot of that yesterday. And it looks so good, guys. It looks so good. And it was definitely needing it. So thank you, babe, for handling that.
It was definitely needing to be done.
Yeah.
If I waited any longer, it would have taken me way longer to get through all that.
And you were still working on it literally all day.
All day. It took literally, I would say, a solid 7 hours.
At
I was
least.
at it for 8 hours, but give myself an hour for, break times in between and lunch and
fixing
whatnot like
strings
that. And yeah, it took right around like 7 hours. I mean, even if you wanted to take away another 30 minutes, right? 6.5 hours.
It's still a long
pushing
time.
that thing around.
Yeah.
It
looks great.
It definitely looks a lot better. I'm super, super happy I did it because the grass was at that perfect point. The grass and the weeds, I should say. They were at that perfect point where the weed whacker or the whatchamacallit?
What's that thing called?
Doctor or DR trimmer thing.
I can't think of the name for it right now either, but it's like a weed whacker, but it's a giant one. It's like in a lawnmower form, and it's made for getting the vines and like all of the underbrush and all that stuff. I can't think of the name of the actual tool.
It's not a brush hog, but
it's kind of like that though.
Kind of like that.
It's just
a walk behind weed eater.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, something. It's big though. It's
whatever
like
you want to call it.
It's like the size of a lawnmower, and the string that it uses and stuff. It's much more heavy duty than just like a weed whacker or like a trimmer or whatever.
No.
It's made for doing what Gary did with it yesterday, and
I took them all down, man. There was some weeds that were, a good solid 3 feet all the way around, and it was like, man, dude, like I hope I can go through this no problem. And that thing just was like butter all the way through it. And I was like, sweet.
I was telling Gary this morning when we were walking Wyatt to the bus stop, I said, we should take that on our back trails real quick before it starts getting crazy, because the vines are coming.
Yeah.
That way we can still have our good trails going through there. But I know it would be a pain in the butt to walk it through. I mean, it's like a catch-22. It would be good because then once it's done, it's done. But then on the other hand, it is a pain in the butt to push it through all of that. But
it's
so, I don't know.
I'll probably end up doing that one of these days. The issue is like, the thing is super, super cool, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like, you can get a pretty good area. It just takes some time in like one pass, because you can go like this with it the whole way going up or forward. However, you're doing that the whole time that you're moving forward, versus the normal lawnmower back and forth and doing lines, like that. So it's which one would be faster?
Yeah.
To go through the forest area? Would it just be quicker for me to just do a couple passes back and forth? Or would it be quicker for me just to do this ever so slowly all the way through the whole path?
I don't know. Like, our paths are pretty cleared, though. Like, they are pretty cleared.
They are.
But, there are some spots where they're starting to grow up again. But
yeah,
it's all good, man. It's all good. We got a lot on our plate. I mean, that's like something on the way back burner. That's not something that is needing anything right now. It was just a thought because you were out working the tool. That's all.
I know. I definitely would like to do that eventually, but
it's just a thought.
Today, we're going to get back up on that roof.
Yes, today we are going to actually get up on the roof and do some of the trim work. Like we said, Gary had that really weird feeling, and then I had errands to do. By the time that I got back from running all the errands in town, dealing with everything, it was already like late in the afternoon. It was time for me to start making dinner.
Yep.
So it just wasn't a good day yesterday for us to do it. But today, however, is going to be a good day. And we have quite a bit of time. Gary actually is going to have to run into town to do another errand. It's all like, registration and all this kind of stuff and renewals and things like that like each specifically we need to be there or whatever. I can't do it for him. Yep. So like, he's got something he's got to do this afternoon, but we should be able to get quite a lot of work in between now and then. So we'll see. Yep. And I say we, but I mostly mean Gary, because it's a one-man job doing the trim, like what he's doing. I would totally be right there helping him, but there's no. I'm gonna film him.
I need you to pass me up pieces.
Yeah, I'm gonna be a gopher, and I'm gonna be right here in the wing for Gary. I'm gonna be handing him over all the things, the pieces, the measuring tapes, the cutters, all the stuff, and I'm gonna be filming him. And I'm also gonna be here just in case something does go south. Yep. Which, let's knock on some wood. Say a little prayer. Nothing, I rebuke it in Jesus' name. Ain't nothing bad going to happen. Oh. So, but, that's pretty much my job today until Gary has to skeetle off to work, or not to work, to town.
Yep.
So
it should work out pretty well.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. As soon as I get the back rake pieces all in, I think I might remove the plastic.
Ooh, that's exciting, friends. That's exciting. I know that, like, specifically Tim has been waiting so patiently for that satisfying peel. Yeah, don't worry. I'll leave lots of long, ASMR shots of that, because I know there's a lot of you guys out there that I've been waiting for it. So don't worry. I will scratch that itch for you.
But yeah, once we get that those rake pieces in for the kicker going up on the backside like that, there's no reason for us to be in the backside over there.
Yeah, no, we're good. That's all done.
You know what I mean? It's all situated, so we can remove all that stuff. And...
You totally could peel all that off. Mm-hmm. The only thing that we would have to do, which is kind of towards the top part, it's after the transition, is the ridge cap.
Correct.
So.
Which we're going to have to be up there on the ridge anyway.
Yeah.
And there's not really a whole lot of... There's no plastic on the ridges anyway, because we've started it, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's going to be hidden anyway, so there's no... We're pretty good right there, so we'll be able to get that all situated, and then it'll be nothing but this front side.
Yeah.
Which will be really nice to be able to leave the big high end of the roof to the ground.
Yeah, we'll be
done
with that area. Done with it, man. And I mean, it's very exciting to get this far. I mean, we had to go through so many highs and so many lows just to get here. I wish that we would have been able to finish it, a couple weeks ago, but it is what it is, and that's just not how it played out for us. But however, we do have all the pieces, and we're going to start making strides towards finishing it up. And we're hoping that this week we can finish it, but I just don't know, man, because tonight, like this afternoon, starting around like 3:00. So basically at 3, we're going to have to wrap it up today. And that's pretty much right around the time that Gary has to go to his appointment anyway. So anyway, we have a limited amount of time today, and then right around 3 or so, that's when the weather says it's going to start letting loose and opening up on us. Yep. And then we have rain on the agenda every single day, all the way through Saturday, I believe. Saturday?
I don't know. It keeps bouncing back and forth.
It's like days upon days upon days. However, the rainfall amounts are really low. Yeah. So it could be one of those things where they're saying that we're going to get a lot of rain. Not tonight, it's supposed to be a lot. Tonight, it's supposed to be like an inch or something, 3/4 of an inch, which is, it's not a lot, but it's a good amount of rain,
That's a good amount of rain.
Yeah, it's a good amount of rain. It's not 7 inches like we just went through, right?
No, but even still, I mean, like when the desert rain annually, you get like 2.5 inches. For the whole year?
For the year.
You know what I mean?
And you get 7 inches out here. It's crazy.
It's nuts.
So we put a video out yesterday with Gary working on the road and the culvert. And Gary was kind of explaining some of our things and going over the suggestions and stuff that you guys had brought up and why we're not going to do that and we're going to do what we're going to do, which is additional culverts. However, we're not going to do that for a while because, we're trying to wrap up the exterior of this house.
Not only that, but as much as it would be like awesome to get that done like tomorrow, we're in the rainy season. Yeah. And right now is the worst time to try to do anything like that because it's just going to wash away. Yeah. So we're just like trying to Band-Aid it for the time being, and I think maybe this summer. And the good thing about any of those property upgrades like that, it is split in half with us and Country Road Cure. Yes. So the whole burden of it isn't going to be just completely on us. We are sharing the burden of the finances for it. So that makes it a whole lot less, but at the end of the day, like it's still something that we got to do. We got to budget for, we got to figure out, but yeah, so the 7 inches of rain did come and did flow, but our culvert still stands and it actually did not get stuck and go over the road, which doesn't make any sense because 5 inches made it all go over the road and 7 didn't. So I don't know. I think where it is confusing itself is they were saying that we were going to get 7 inches. Uh-huh. We didn't get 7 inches. We got 2 that night. In total, we had 7 inches from the night before and the night after. But that's legit not what they said on the news. I know. I understand what you're saying. I have a feeling that they read it wrong off of the actual NW or the NOAA. Yeah. And it's called for 7 inches in total for the 2 storms. Possibly. That makes more sense. Not just the day, because what our rain gauge said. Yeah, and what the newscaster said. Correct. It was 5 inches and then 2 inches. So I was like, that makes sense. So where we got the numbers from, usually we check out like NOAA.gov and get all of our weather and stuff there. But that time we got an app. It's called Haystack News. And it has the local weather from Fort Smith and like the River Valley and stuff like that. It can work wherever you are, you know, you just put in your zip code and stuff and then it'll give it to you. But that's where I was getting it from. So whatever news station they were sharing with us that particular day, that's who said that. So anyway. Yeah. So it is what it is. But yeah, the road is still good. We did not dam it up anywhere, friends. We didn't send the logs floating down the river. If you guys watched the video, Gary did take them out. Mm-hmm. So it's not like he just left them to go down the stream. He wanted them on the other side of the stream. So correct. That's what he did. All the twigs and sticks and whatever else.
Yeah,
it is what it is. Send them down.
It's got to flow.
It's got to flow one way or another. If I didn't intervene and push them down the stream, eventually they'll make it down the stream.
Yeah, it's gonna find a way. It's gonna find a way, no matter what.
I'd rather get it out of the way and off and down it goes, because it's gonna go. It's gonna go one way or another.
But Gary figured it out, man, and I mean, he's got it going. We did talk to David. They should be home. I know Country Road Cure's home. I could see their car. I haven't seen them yet today.
They must have came in real late last night.
Yeah, they must have got in real late last night. So I know they're home, and I know that David was making his way home, and we did talk to David, and David is so sweet, and we have made arrangements to basically like rent his Uber from him for a little bit.
Oh.
So that's what we're gonna do. So that way we can handle the road situation. We can handle a few other things. Quick update on our wood delivery. We talked to them and they said that it's basically ready for it to be delivered, but it's going to be on these huge bundles. So think of how our metal came in these bunks, right? In these wooden bunks. That's basically how our wood is going to be delivered. So that being said, we talked to our super sweet friend. We were like, hey, can we snatch that Uber from you for a little bit, yada yada. He's like, yeah, sure, no problem. So I don't know when we told them to hold off on obviously delivering it because we have no way to get it off of the truck yet unless we want to do it stick by stick, which we can do. However,
I don't want to be unloading 4 bundles of siding.
That's a lot. So we don't know exactly when we're going to get the siding now that we know how it's coming like that. We had imagined it coming in a different way. I don't know what we were really thinking, to be honest with you. I think we were just thinking it was going to come on a trailer.
We're just moving and grooving and getting it moving.
So now, here in the next couple of days, we're going to try to snatch Uber up, and that way we can get the siding here, because once we get Uber here, then we can get the siding delivered. We could use forks, get it off the thing, and then we can also use that to fix up the road at least a little bit more. Again, we're just Band-Aiding it. We're going to throw some more of that Portland concrete and just stuff, the bags that we have in there, I guess, in the hole, the bigger hole, and throw some more dirt on it.
Yep.
There's not really a whole lot we could do about it right this second. We're going to use what we got and just kind of make it, just make it last at least until we get to the dry season, and then it will be fine all summer long. It will be fine.
Yep.
And we will need to figure out a solution for that more long term. I know. Anthony and Rox know, me and Gary know. It is just a situation that we're going to have to repetitively deal with for a little bit.
Until it's done completely.
Yeah.
And like I said in that video too, concrete sounds nice and wonderful, but we get a lot of ice out here.
Yeah.
And that would make it extremely slick.
Yeah.
Extremely slick.
Not only that, but it's going to get buried.
No.
The erosion. I mean, like without the kickers and stuff like that, like it's going to get buried. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. We're going to figure something out. I think the best solution is going to be some additional culverts and maybe like a retaining wall type thing up against where the culverts are. So when the water crashes into that, it's got like concrete to smash into. I don't know. We will figure it out. And, we're going to do something about it. But for now, we're just going to have to keep Band-Aiding it until further notice, Yep. I think our big, like me and Gary said, our big objective and our big goal is just to try to stay focused on the house as much as possible, keep making strides towards that. And today we're going to keep moving in that direction.
Yep.
Yeah. So we are going to get to work, friends. I want to thank you guys so much for hanging out with us today and watching today's episode of Real Talk with SLR. Stay tuned. I got some more videos coming out on Simple Life Reclaimed for y'all. Not today, though. I'm going to start posting them tomorrow, I believe. I'd have to look back on my schedule. So if I'm wrong, keep your notifications turned on. You'll see. But we'll be back here tomorrow with a new episode of Real Talk with SLR. So until the next one, friends, we love y'all and we hope you have a good one.
And we'll catch you on the next one.
Bye, you guys.
Later.